Michael Anderson was born in the small city of Greenville, located in the northern part of California. Greenville was not a rich city, but it was peaceful. Streets were narrow, houses were close to each other, and people knew their neighbors well. Children played outside until sunset, shop owners greeted customers by name, and crime was something people only heard about on television. Michael grew up believing that life was simple and predictable, and that as long as you worked hard, things would eventually fall into place. Michael's family lived in a modest two-bedroom house near Oakwood Street. His father, Robert Anderson, worked long hours at a local warehouse, loading trucks and managing shipments. His mother, Laura Anderson, stayed at home and occasionally worked part-time at a grocery store to help with expenses. Money was always tight, but love was never missing. Michael was a quiet child who spent most of his time reading books, watching people, and thinking deeply about the world around him. He was not loud or aggressive like other boys his age. Instead, he observed silently and learned from what he saw. From a young age, Michael noticed something about life that others ignored. He saw how some people worked hard yet struggled every day, while others seemed to succeed without effort. He watched how power, money, and confidence changed the way people were treated. These observations stayed in his mind, quietly shaping his thoughts. Though he never spoke about them, they planted the first seeds of dissatisfaction deep inside him. At school, Michael was an average student. Teachers described him as polite, disciplined, and intelligent, but not exceptional. He had a few friends but never formed strong bonds. He preferred being alone, walking home slowly after school, watching cars pass by, and imagining different lives he could have lived. Sometimes he dreamed of becoming successful and respected, someone people would admire. Other times he felt invisible, unnoticed, and forgotten. As Michael grew older, the reality of life became clearer. His father's health began to decline due to years of hard labor. Medical bills piled up, and the family struggled more than ever. Michael took part-time jobs after school, working in small stores and delivering newspapers. He learned early that effort did not always guarantee reward. This realization slowly turned into frustration, and frustration quietly transformed into anger. By the time Michael graduated high school, Greenville no longer felt like home. He felt trapped, limited by opportunities, and burdened by responsibilities. When his father passed away suddenly due to a heart condition, Michael's world changed completely. The loss left a deep emotional wound and placed even more pressure on him to support his mother. Dreams were replaced by survival, and hope was replaced by necessity. Michael decided to leave Greenville and move to Riverside City, a much larger and faster-paced city in California. Riverside was everything Greenville was not: crowded streets, tall buildings, constant noise, and endless opportunities. People did not know each other, and no one cared about anyone else's past. To Michael, this anonymity felt like freedom. He believed Riverside would give him a fresh start and a chance to rebuild his life. In Riverside, Michael found work as a warehouse assistant and rented a small apartment near Hillcrest Avenue. Life was difficult but manageable. He worked long shifts, returned home exhausted, and repeated the same routine every day. Slowly, the excitement of the new city faded, replaced by the same struggles he had hoped to escape. Bills remained unpaid, wages remained low, and opportunities remained distant. Michael began noticing the darker side of Riverside. He saw people living lavish lives, driving expensive cars, wearing fine clothes, and enjoying freedoms he could not afford. He wondered how they achieved such success. Were they smarter, luckier, or simply willing to take risks others were afraid of? These thoughts haunted him, growing stronger with each passing day. One night, while returning home late from work, Michael witnessed a small incident that would change his life forever. He saw a man steal a wallet from a distracted pedestrian and disappear into the crowd within seconds. No one noticed, no one reacted, life moved on as if nothing had happened. Michael stood there, frozen, realizing how easily the crime had occurred and how invisible it was. That night, Michael could not sleep. His mind replayed the scene repeatedly. He thought about how quick, silent, and effortless the theft had been. For the first time, a dangerous idea entered his mind, not as a plan, but as a possibility. He did not act on it immediately, but the thought stayed with him, quietly waiting. Michael did not know it yet, but this moment marked the beginning of a long and dark journey. A journey that would slowly pull him away from the life he once knew, and push him toward choices that would define his fate forever. After witnessing the theft on the crowded street of Riverside City, Michael Anderson returned to his small apartment on Hillcrest Avenue, but his mind refused to rest. The image of the man stealing the wallet replayed again and again in his thoughts. What disturbed him most was not the crime itself, but how easily it had happened. No shouting, no struggle, no police sirens. The victim continued walking after a few moments of confusion, and the city swallowed the thief without a trace. That night, Michael realized something important about Riverside. People were busy, distracted, and careless. Opportunity existed everywhere for those who were willing to take it. In the days that followed, Michael tried to push the thought away. He focused on his job at the warehouse, lifting boxes, following orders, and returning home exhausted. Yet the idea stayed with him like a quiet voice in the background. Every time he saw someone using their phone while walking or leaving a bag unattended, his mind automatically analyzed the situation. He hated himself for thinking that way, but curiosity slowly replaced guilt. He began asking questions in his own mind, not about morality, but about possibility. Michael's financial situation continued to worsen. His mother needed money back in Greenville, and his own rent was overdue. Overtime hours were cut at work, and his supervisor made it clear that promotions were unlikely. Each rejection, each unpaid bill pushed Michael closer to desperation. He felt invisible in a city full of people, trapped in a life that offered no escape. Slowly, the line between right and wrong began to blur. One evening, while returning from work, Michael stopped at a small convenience store near Riverside Boulevard. Inside, he noticed a man leave his wallet on the counter while arguing with the cashier. Michael's heart began to race. The wallet lay there unguarded just inches away. For a moment he froze. His conscience screamed at him to walk away, but his fear of poverty screamed louder. Without thinking, he slipped the wallet into his jacket and walked out. As soon as he stepped outside, his legs felt weak. He walked quickly, then faster until he reached a quiet alley. His hands trembled as he opened the wallet. Inside was cash, credit cards, and an ID. Michael felt a wave of shame wash over him. He took only the cash and dropped the wallet into a trash bin, convincing himself that he had not done too much harm. That night he did not sleep. Guilt consumed him, but so did relief. For the first time in weeks he had money. Days passed and nothing happened. No police came knocking. No consequences followed. Slowly, fear faded, replaced by a dangerous sense of success. Michael told himself it was a one-time thing, a desperate act caused by circumstances. But deep down, he knew something had changed. He had crossed a line, and crossing it had been easier than he ever imagined. Weeks later, Michael committed his second theft. This time, it was easier. His hands did not shake, and his heart did not race as much. He had learned how to watch people, how to choose the right moment, and how to disappear into the crowd. Each successful theft made him feel smarter, more in control. What started as survival slowly turned into habit. Riverside City continued its fast-paced life, unaware of Michael's transformation. He still went to work, still paid rent, still spoke politely to neighbors. On the surface, nothing had changed, but inside, Michael was becoming someone else. The quiet, hardworking man was slowly being replaced by a person who believed that rules were optional and consequences were avoidable. Michael did not yet see himself as a criminal. In his mind, he was simply doing what he had to do to survive. He told himself that the city was unfair, that life had pushed him into this corner. But every night, as he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, a small part of him wondered how far this path would take him, and whether he would be able to return once he went too far. Unknowingly, Michael had taken the first real step toward a future that would consume him completely. The road ahead was dark, and each choice he made would pull him deeper into it.